Spencer Aronfeld, and welcome back to a very special edition, a Rosh Hashanah Happy New Year's edition of the Trust Me, I'm a Lawyer podcast. With me, as always, is our executive producer and co-host, Nory Aronfeld. Nory, welcome back to the podcast.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the viewers as well.
So, Nory, you're talking to us live from your dorm room at the Florida Gulf Coast University. I have to tell you, I'm very impressed with your library you've got there.
Thank you. It's a few books I'm borrowing from the library.
Well, make sure you return them on time.
Okay.
Now, today we have a very special guest with us. Nory, tell everybody who we have and what he does.
Right. So today we have Brock Chambers, who is going to speak with us about his involvement and employment at Filevine, which is a legal software that a lot of law firms around the country are fortunately and successfully using. And not only is he a professional friend of my father's, but because of their intense work together and because of the amount of cases my dad has to deal with on the software, they've also developed a nice social relationship as well. And he's just going to speak with us today about what it's like to work there, what he does, and what his experience has been like during these crazy times as well.
Great introduction. Welcome to the podcast, Brocktoberfest.
Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with you two. This is going to be exciting.
Well, we're thrilled that you're here, and I'm thrilled you're here for so many reasons, mostly because you have brought such incredible value to my life professionally. I want to share you with all of the lawyers that watch our podcast so that you can help benefit them as well. Tell everyone a little bit about what Filevine is and what it does and how it might be able to help people, especially during this crazy time in the pandemic.
2020, the year of everything that could possibly go wrong, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so Filevine, in a nutshell, is a core operating system for case management software. It's built to be an end-to-end solution for law firms, whether you're doing personal injury, family law, whatever it may be. It's a software that helps you streamline your workflows, reduce cost overall, so you can close more cases, but you don't actually have to hire more heads in order to do that work. You're more than welcome to, because you'll be making more money. However, you don't really need to because Filevine simplifies your life.
Well, I've said this before, Brock, and I've had a chance to tell you, one of the only good things about this pandemic for us has been it's given our firm an opportunity to look at ourselves in the mirror and saying, how are we doing what we're doing and how can we do it more efficiently for our clients? And so Filevine has been our software for a couple of years, but truthfully, until the pandemic, I really didn't know how to use it. It was much like having my iPhone and using it as a clock. And
Right.
Oh wait, it can also be music. It can also be videos. I can watch movies on this thing. I had no idea all the wonderful things that Filevine can do to make my life and my clients' lives better. And so for that, I'm so grateful because you guys are so patient. It's one thing having great software, but it's another thing teaching lawyers, especially from my generation, how to use it. And it's been tremendously helpful and user-friendly, but mostly because you guys have spoon-fed it to me, teaching me how to use it, and I'm really happy about that.
Well, thank you. You know, it's a tough software, especially if you've never worked with a cloud-based solution before. The thing is it's always changing. Our goal isn't to be a stagnant company where it's like, hey, here's what you get out of the box. That's all you're going to get. And then maybe you can upgrade later. Our goal is to be ahead of the curve so that individuals like yourself who are working during this crazy time, still trying to run a business, it may have been paper in the past, but now it's the digital age. And we're trying to help everybody move over to this cloud-based solution so that they can help themselves and help out their clients, more importantly. It's been interesting. Right before COVID hit, it was still a little bit like pulling teeth for some attorneys to jump on board. They were stuck in their ways, as we all are. We all have habits that are hard to break. They got stuck kind of utilizing paper. But as soon as it hit, they saw the benefit of cloud and they knew they had to adapt very quickly or their business would flounder. And we've seen some great results in helping these firms go digital with this cloud-based option, work remotely, and they don't have to use a VPN. Their speeds are good. They can access all the files they need right from their home computer or their phone, which is really cool. I know that's something that you do a lot, Spencer.
I basically am practicing law on my cell phone with Filevine. And if you had told me, Brock, let's say in February before COVID hit, that my law firm was essentially going to close its physical plant and that my lawyers and my paralegals and my legal assistants and my office administrators were all going to work out of their homes spread across the state of Florida, I would have thought you were nuts. I would have said, this is impossible. We have to be face-to-face. We have to have paper. There's no way to track this stuff. I used to have in my old office this giant board where we would write. Nory spent most of his childhood writing on this board things that we had to do. And now it's all in on my phone on Filevine, and it's something that we can all see, and it's all updated in real time for all of us to collaborate with each other on the projects and the tasks as they're happening. To me, it's a miracle.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, and it's been cool. I've been at Filevine just shy of 2 years at this point, and seeing what we've been able to do, previously having been on the customer success side, which is, I guess, in layman's term, account management, and helping these firms adopt and grow into the system. It's been really cool to see a lot of them go from your position where you have the software, it's a basic usage, they don't really know all that it can do. And then as we educate and help them see the vision, they see a vast change in their practice. And now with the partnership side, being able to work with you in some cool projects like Lawyers to the Rescue, helping the homeless out with the needs that they have, which is a very susceptible population. It's been really cool to see a lot of good things come from Filevine. It's not perfect, but it's one of those softwares that's continued to adapt, grow, and hopefully everybody who gets on board sees that vision that, hey, this is the way, this is the future, and we can really turn our law firm and our practice into something greater than what it currently is.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. Go ahead, Nory.
Well, I was just gonna ask a question. So speaking of the imperfection that you kind of just hinted at the end, I was curious if we can go on and on about the pros of having a digital workstation for let me preface this by saying I produce music myself, and I've been kind of forcing myself to do a lot of research about music production over the past century. And the way that the digital world has completely revolutionized production entirely, it gives kids like me who I don't have access to professional studio the ability to on my laptop produce like an orchestra, and compose an orchestra myself. So I understand with completely on all different facets of art and professional work the benefits of being digital, but from your perspective as like an insider in one of these large corporations, what is your take on the possibility of there being downsides to these digital spaces? Because just before you answer, I just want to say, like personally, a lot of old and famous musicians like Stevie Wonder have all said like there's wonder, no pun intended, in working digitally, but also at times it can seem, perfect to the point where the music sounds like it's completely computerized. And I know that's like a kind of a far stretch for an analogy, but like at the same time, what have you noticed to be like maybe something you tell your law firms that sometimes it's good to have X not on the digital workspace or yeah.
I always recommend having a hard backup or a copy of anything because, digitally, and we're a very secure setup. However, if something goes awry, you still need to be able to access your files. So it's always good to have a backup, whether it's digitally or hard copy. And the thing with a growing community as far as the technology space, I've got a background in technology and working specifically in these kind of startup companies. Filevine's not too different from a lot of those. We're learning as we go, and we're not perfect in the way that our software functions all the time. And the beauty of it, though, because we've got people like Spencer and other key clients that really want to provide insight and feedback, we want to listen to them and say, hey, you know we don't have all the features that you're looking for, or maybe we do, but what are some key things that we're lacking? Because we know we're not perfect, but we're striving to be one of those solutions that has open ears to all of the feedback that we get. We may not be able to implement a lot of the different features and requests, because some of them may not just be in the wheelhouse that we focus on, or it's just something that's not in high demand. But we love to hear from our clients, because really it's them that are making the changes in the world, and we're just an instrument in helping them do that. So I guess the imperfections would be, we're still learning and we're still growing, and we're figuring out what's next, what's best for everybody that's involved.
Got it. Great.
And I wanted just to circle back to Lawyers to the Rescue for a second. What's interesting about this project that we're working on together, Brock, is that here you have a client base that's homeless,
Yeah.
but you have lawyers from Social Security, disability, workers' compensation, medical malpractice, criminal law, immigration, family law. These are lawyers that are practicing in all these different areas of law, and yet we're still able to use Filevine in unison. So I don't want people just to think this is a product that works just for personal injury trial lawyers. This is a product that any lawyer could use.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and it may have started out as primarily a personal injury platform. I mean, that's where Ryan Anderson, our CEO and founder, came from, was personal injury. And so he was looking for a solution and couldn't find one, which means he had to start his own. And now the system is so customizable and user-friendly that we can basically utilize any area of practice and make it work for what they're trying to do, whether it's personal injury, family law, real estate, whatever it is. And the cool thing that we're doing with you at Lawyers to the Rescue is just helping this community out that doesn't get the help that they need. It's tough. I mean, it's tough to find jobs when you're homeless. It's tough to find solutions when you're homeless. So first off, I want to give you a pat on the back virtually for doing what you're doing. That's not something that should be overlooked. So I'm glad that we at Filevine can help out and be part of that program, because it's going to be cool and exciting to see what comes from Lawyers to the Rescue for all of these people you're helping.
Well, thank you for saying that. I certainly couldn't do it alone. We have a large group of talented and committed people, and Nory has spent most of his childhood on Saturday afternoons at a homeless shelter. But it speaks very loudly to me about the kind of organization that Filevine is. When I asked, would you be willing to help the homeless? And without a hesitation, they was like, what can we do?
Right.
And it's just very generous to have provided us with software to help us become more efficient in our mission of helping the homeless get off the streets and back to work. So we really do appreciate that.
Well, thank you. You know, we're happy to help out. It's community. We're all in a community together, and we're starting to see that very much so during this pandemic. We've got to help each other out in any way that we possibly can. We have to come together, and I think with Filevine being able to help you out, we're seeing some great initiatives happen with Lawyers to the Rescue, and seeing that grow is going to be really cool to see. So I hope you keep me posted on all of it.
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Nory, any other questions?
Well, I was just curious about your background and how you got into working there.
Yeah. How did you end up there?
You know, it's a mystery to everybody, honestly. So my background, I did a lot of sales, direct sales for a long time. And it was rewarding. It was a lot of fun. I met a lot of great people, but ultimately I wanted to find something that was going to be, in my eyes, something more service-oriented, helping others grow and be successful. So I got into the technology community by studying iOS development initially. Found out that wasn't my fit, but it gave me an understanding of how the software system and society works, and then jumped into the customer success world, which is, again, that account management growth opportunity for my clients. And then Filevine came along. I saw it honestly just as a listing when I was just glancing at some job opportunities. and met with them, loved the vision, saw that there was a lot of great opportunity, and understood, hey, we're helping attorneys move from what we call the Stone Age over to the digital age. And some of it has been, like I said, pulling teeth, kicking and fighting. But now that I've been at Filevine, I'm seeing a lot of great successes come from those that adopt and understand the benefit of what you get is what you put into it.
Well, I strongly recommend that people look at Filevine and consider it. It's been a game changer for our firm. Brock, what's the best way for people who are watching this podcast to get in touch with you and get a test drive, if you will, of what Filevine is and what it can do to improve their practices and their lives?
Yeah. So the best way is just to reach out to me personally. On my email address. It's just Brock, BROCK, @filevine.com. And you can, reach out to me there. I'll get you in contact with the correct people and probably just talk your ear off for a little bit, getting to know you and see if we're a good fit, which I'm pretty sure we are for everybody.
I really agree, and I encourage anyone who's listening to this to give Brock an email, a call, and take a look at Filevine and see how it can improve your life, your professional life, your clients' cases, and your personal life, because it will reduce a lot of stress. Thank you so much, Brock, for joining us today. It's good to see you, my friend.
Yes, thank you. It was great seeing you. Well, I'm looking forward to chatting with you more in the future.
Absolutely. And Nory, you come home safe tonight. Rosh Hashanah starts tonight. We need to have you at our table.
I'll try my best.
Okay, buddy. Thanks, everybody. And thanks for watching.